Every day I think of you. Every night I think of you. Say every day I think of you. Every night I think of you.
Well, I'm here, I'm back, I'm taking over. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I'm clean and sober. I be African man, I be exotic lover. Pretty lady, it's nice to know ya, nice to know ya, nice to meet ya. What's your name? What's your name? Say what? Love me, Jeje, love me tender. I don't mess around, I'm not a great pretender. I'm the bad boy from Nigeria, the baddest boy in this area. You blow my mind with the way you walking. You blow my mind with the way you talking. Oh, stop. Love me, Jeje.
Now, if you grew up in the 90s or have ever vibed to classic Nigerian love songs, then you know the timeless hit Love Me Jeje. The song was an anthem, romantic, soulful, and one of those records that just never gets old. Fast forward to today, and Love Me Jeje has made history once again. The remake featuring the incredible Tems won a Grammy this year, cementing its place as one of the greatest Nigerian songs of all time. But behind this legendary track is the man himself, the bad boy from Nigeria. Seyi Sodimu, a true pioneer of contemporary Nigerian music and a visionary who has stayed true to his sound and his craft over the years. Today, he joins us to talk about this incredible moment and how it just feels seeing this classic record make a comeback. How are you doing? Welcome. I'm so excited to have you.
Actually, thanks for having me. This is like a full circle for me.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you do music, you never know what's going to happen. And this is one of the reasons why we do what we do.
Yeah.
The creative process is so hard and it's so demanding that when you do it out of love and passion. And 27, 28 years later, and it's almost like I just recorded the song again, you know. First of all, God is good. Shout out to Shafi Bello.
Yeah.
You know, we made magic.
Yeah, you did.
You know, we made magic, and you know, it wasn't. We were doing so much with so little.
Yeah.
You know, I always knew the music would get this big. You know, because I was living in the U.S. I was in college, and I didn't want to sound like an American, and I couldn't. So I had to create something the best I knew how. You know, so I figured, how do we talk in Nigeria? You mix a little English with Pidgin and Yoruba.
Yeah.
And that's how I created that vibe where, you know, English, Pidgin, you know, all that. And it worked.
And it's still working.
It's still working, exactly. So when you talk about, shouting out to Shafi Bill now,
right.
Your synergy with Shafi back then was unmatched, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
So how was that partnership built? Because you guys did like a couple of songs together,
Yes,
Money Man.
I love you, Mr. Money Man.
Yeah, so how was that partnership built?
Well, the thing about it, Shafi is my cousin.
Okay.
On my mother's side, I think our parents are like first cousins. So it's in the blood. So there was no need to synergize because it was natural.
Okay.
And Shafi is a very good actress, a very good interpreter, you know, and she's a great singer. So obviously it was easy to work with her, and it came out easy for her as well. So when we did it back then, it was just something, like I said, we were trying to do what we could do to kind of make our mark with the little we had, because there was no landscape to follow, really.
Yeah.
I mean, there was the Sunny Ades, there was the Fellas, but you know, they already perfected that music. And how do you improve on perfection? You really can't.
Yeah.
So you have to create something new from your own identity. And that's what we did.
Fantastic. So let's fast forward to, a couple of, 20-something years down the line.
Right.
Tems, obviously, our team reaches out to you and says, we want to do this song.
Right.
Can you talk to us a bit about what that process was like up until she now wins that Grammy? And there was a bit of controversy,
Really?
which I think you addressed almost immediately, where people were saying she didn't say thank you, or kind of like mention your name in her
acceptance speech,
the Grammy speech.
Exactly.
Can you just talk to us a bit about that process and how you actually feel about that? Wasn't it a big deal to you? Or
because character is destiny. Tems has been a sweetheart.
Yeah.
I call her my angel on earth. Not because she did the song, but because the way she did it. Do you understand? She reached out to me, her label reached out to me. And even after they reached out, I heard the song and they said, well, Tems wanted me to be in the video.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, why? He said, no, I want you next to me, Baba, because you are one of my big influences in music.
Aww.
And I'm like, look, I don't have time. He said, no, I'll pay for your wardrobe, but I just want you next to me. So that has been going on in the back since, and she's always been reaching out and like, hey, I want to do this, is it okay? And she really wanted to carry me along. So obviously as an artist, I understand when you get on stage, the butterflies and nervousness. So it's not something that she planned.
Yeah.
It was just excitement and spur of the moment, the way she forgot. And you know, anybody can do that.
Yeah.
But I know what she's been doing in the back, where she's been acknowledging, she's been giving me my flowers. Not just her, the whole team. Muyiwa, Wale, even her mom. You know, and her mom is one of my best friends. You know, because I tell her, your daughter is my angel. You know, because she really did it the way it's supposed to. And I talk to my friends. I talk to Paul Dairo. I talk to LD. I talk to Style Plus, and they're like, Baba, you know, this is we won the Grammy. All of them.
It's like a collective.
They tell me, they say we won the Grammy, but not before Tems. So I'm like, yeah, but you know, so we won, you know what? Because this is what we were striving for. And full circle. You know, funny enough, we had an interview in LA 2004.
Yeah, and I think we actually have that interview. We're gonna play a clip from it very shortly. But I'm sure Kena wants to ask.
Okay, so like you talked about how reaching out to you and how following due process, and you know, and that makes you happy.
Yeah.
I bumped into one of your banters with, I would say, veterans in the game. I think Jimmy Chad was part of that banter where you talked about how some artists too have used your sound or used your lingua or your lyrics at different times and they didn't reach out to you. Have you, or did you ever think of probably maybe sort of suing such artists? I know it's not a Nigerian thing, but you know, how was it for you? Like, you know, should I say, hearing these artists use your property or your brainchild to do music and not reach out to you?
That's a very good question. It's not really up to me at this point because our music is global. And the unique thing about that song, Love Me Jeje, Love Me Tender, is uniquely mine because it's two languages that I blended. So if I had said Love Me Tender, Love Me something, that's English. But when you say Love Me Jeje, I mean English and Yoruba. And because there was no structure in the industry, there was really, just to give them slack, really no way to get the publishing. Do you understand? So I think, you know, Two-Face has used it, Banky W and Tiwa Savage and Scales, you know, but I hear it and, you know, what am I going to do? But, you know, now that my lawyers and publishers are like, she will reach out, I'm like, look, if it's something that they have to do, they have to do. But I'm not really worried too much about it, you know, because it is what it is. But moving forward, there has to be some kind of
Okay, so like you don't want to burn bridges, because you know in Nigeria, if you, let's say, sue your fellow Nigerian artist, look like, oh, are you being bitter?
No.
It's
not a matter of burning bridges. You know, God has blessed me so much that it's not, you know, what is right is right.
Sure.
You know, I have a very good relationship with Tiwa. You know, and I went to school with one of her brothers, you know, and back in the day. So we've even done business together. So Tiwa is not really like somebody a stranger to me. You know, Banky W, I know, you know, through LD. And it's always been, you know, love. But sometimes at the end of the day, creative process is creative process, you know. You know, so if I use any of Fela's song now, best believe Shinwa and Femi, they're gonna knock on. Which I like, you know, I respect them. They will come knocking, not because of anything, but it's just part of the business.
Alrighty, I want us to take a flashback to many years ago when you were in LA, Grammy weekend, talking about this same song. Let's take a look, come back and discuss.
Intro special. We're here in LA, and this weekend is special because it's actually the Grammy Awards weekend. Right now, I'm sitting with Mr. Love Me Jeje.
I had to take voice lessons. I learned how to sing, and I just went to the studio. That's when I recorded Love Me Jeje. I didn't release it for about 2 years because I tried to market it in New York. I went to a lot of record companies, major labels. But the problem that they told me was hard to market me because I look, quote unquote, American, but I sound African. After I took it to Nigeria, I think Ray Power was just taking off then. The thing took off within before I left Nigeria. Any wedding I go to now, I mean, that's the mainstream song. And it's a blessing. I mean, I couldn't have written that script if I wanted to.
You know, I wanted to bring that clip back, and it made the rounds when, you know, Tems won the Grammy. But I already asked you this, but I want to reiterate. The moment when that was announced, that's okay, Love Me Jeje, where were you? How did you feel? Who called you first? I want to know what that feeling was like. I can't imagine.
I was in LA as well, but you know, unfortunately, because of the fires, a lot of Grammy events were cancelled. So with a couple of my friends, and because I didn't announce it with the Grammys, my phone started, you know, buzzing. You know, I think I was one of them. You know, Paul Dairo, you know, Kemi Olunloyo, all of them were like, you know, we won a Grammy. And then obviously, I think it was one of Tems' managers said, we won, Baba, we won, you know. So I just looked at my phone, just looking at that, it's like, you know, I almost felt like crying. Because I think, you know, this is not something that I planned, you know. And it's just God that kind of takes charge and said, look, I'm going to place this on you. And I was kind of reluctant to kind of say, oh, I didn't win the Grammy. Because I recorded the song and it did what it had to do. but it came full circle and she wanted with her own version. So yeah, it's kind of linked to me, but I still give her credit for what she did. So I feel happy. I feel like a proud dad. So, but you know, the music is global now, so I'm happy.
I love that.
Okay, now talking about Love Me Jeje, I saw the remix with is it K Michelle?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I read somewhere that you know, I think after the aftermath of the video of the song, you were not really into the remix. I don't know. I think I read somewhere about you. I won't say being forced to do it, but like you didn't really enjoy the output of the remix.
Yeah.
How was the remix like? How did it make you feel like, you know, should I say, seeing the success of the original and now making the remix and the remix not living up to the original? How was that for you?
Yeah, I didn't really want to record it, and it was Sheezy's idea. And
Sheezy, okay.
Yeah, and they said they wanted to do the song again because the song was so timeless. And so Sheezy came back to me and said, Baba, can you just go through your lines so we could use it as guide for the new person? So I just went to the studio and I did it one time. And he said, good, and he kept it. He said, Baba, we're keeping that your line. So we're going to find somebody else to do, you know. And that's how it happened.
So like the final product, like he did everything then just...
Yeah, it was Sheezy and Bankuli.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I wonder. So what's next for you? Do you see? I mean, I know that you obviously have kids now. I know one of your kids, one of your sons, is also doing music, following in his father's footsteps.
Are
you? Yes. I met him. Very lovely,
in Miami, right?
gentleman in Miami.
Right.
And I just want to know what's next. Are you going to do music? Have you signed off completely?
Yeah.
What's next for?
Well, I can never sign off of music because I think it's a God-given talent.
Yeah.
So I'm more of an executive role right now. I have a company called Livewire Productions, where we do concerts all over the world. We did Tiwa Savage in Uganda. We did Kiss Daniel at a hotel in December. We did Night of Queens. I did Joe, Grown and Sexy. We've done like 8 concerts, you know, my company.
See, I really did Mr. Money Man now.
Yeah. But I'm also working on a project, hopefully with Warner Brothers or Def Jam.
Yeah.
I'm trying to create some kind of a partnership with them to get new artists of their platform. And I'm working on a documentary of Jeje, the making and how we, myself, Shafi, and D1, Kenny, all this, you know, Ray Power, all those things, how they kind of, you know, we got to where we are. So the documentary is coming. I might do a best of Sodimu with a couple of new songs.
That would be really nice.
Okay, so now talking about your son who is into music, that's so I like his song by the way.
Yeah.
Jara.
Yeah.
I actually like it. So I played on my radio show a couple of times.
Right.
It's actually a good tune. So how have you been able to sort of guide him and maybe should I say teach him on how to sort of maybe not make some mistakes you made in the past, you know, guide him through his career. He's still fresh.
Yeah,
so how are you able to
it's a little bit difficult because the times are different, and you know, there's so much I can do as far as helping. I can only give him my own take about the vices of the business, you know, the drugs and all that. So I can only tell him that. But as far as the creative process, I think it's in him. So the talent is there. I can only tell him like, look, when you do this, watch out for this. When you do that, I would rather do this because of, you know, there's certain things that he might not see immediately that's coming. So I can only give him that kind of advice. Now, if he asks me as far as creative process, I definitely will give him. But there's a generational gap, so it's really hard for me to.
I mean, I'm sure you're proud.
Oh,
your son taking up
definitely.
like you, Shafi Music, and your son is now doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we have come to the end of this interview, but there's something I wanted to try. I hope I can still do this. I want to know very briefly. Can you still rap Love Me Jeje word for word?
You have to pay money.
Are you sure? I'm here. I'm back.
Made money.
Taking over. Don't drink it. Don't smoke.
But that boy a whiskey now. Say they've made money.
No, you made money.
I'm just wondering if like sometimes you just kind of because it's actually one of my favorite Nigerian songs.
Because you're my namesake.
Okay, I just want us to rap it together. Can we do that? Let's try.
Okay, from where?
From I'm here, I'm back.
Okay.
Let's go.
Over.
3, 2, 1, go. I'm here, I'm back. I'm taking over. Don't drink, I don't smoke. I'm clean and sober. I'm the African man. I'm the exotic lover. Pretty lady, it's nice to know ya. Nice to know ya. Nice to meet ya. What's your name? Kilowe, what's your name? Say what? Sharifa. Oh my goodness. Sodimu.
Let me tell you a secret. I actually sang that song in school for a girl, but let's leave that.
You guys, you give me money. All of you.
Don't worry, we got you.
I mean,
You're part of the right family now.
No.
Thank you so much for being on here. This has been such a great interview.
Yeah, I'll be back. I'm going to have more projects to talk about.
All right then.
Sure,
Thank you so
definitely. We're
much.
here.